Is there happiness in life? Can we really be happy? Is there anything like steady happiness? What is joy? Can there be happily ever after? In this video, I'm not only going to show you where to find lasting joy, but if you build what is in this video, your joy will be happily ever after. It's my acechina. I'm an expert global business solutions expert and your real estate success strategist known as the mayor of thousands. Welcome to my daily insights into my daily quotes with my ace, where I give you a longer, deeper insight into my daily quotes for deeper secrets for your accelerated result. And today's quote says, achievers rejoice at their achievements after their sacrifices. Exceptional achievers start rejoicing at their sacrifices way before seeing their achievements in their future. There are two seasons of life because there's one immutable law in life, and that is the law of sowing and reaping, the law of cause and effect, and every other law in the world anchors on this one law. And those two seasons, many people only find happiness in one of the seasons. The season of sowing, they sow in tears. The season of practicing, in tears. The season of discipline, they discipline in tears. Then the season of harvest, they rejoice in their harvest. They rejoice in winning the trophy. They rejoice in their outcome. But the secret of life is that if you can grow to when you can begin to rejoice in the sacrifice, rejoice in sowing, rejoice in the discipline, rejoice in the pain in the gym, then you rejoice in sowing and you rejoice in reaping, and you always rejoice because all there is in life is sowing and reaping. And there are three areas that if you can rejoice in their initial painful season of sowing, then you will live happily ever after. The first is learning. We all know that we need to learn, but some people learn in tears. I remember children that go to school crying, go to secondary school complaining, go to the university complaining, and then come out in real life and start missing their school days. So if you can learn to rejoice in your initial learning pain, because each time you start to learn something new, there is pain in it. When you learn to rejoice in it, you will live happily ever after. The second place you need to learn to rejoice is to rejoice in the initial exercise pain. We all know we need to exercise, and many people get to the gym, exercise the first day, everywhere is aching, and the next day they never go again because they don't want to go through that pain. Some others go through the pain and are just complaining. If you can learn to rejoice at the initial pain of exercise, and most times that initial pain only lasts 5 days, and if it's a more strenuous exercise, 21 days. After that, the rest of your exercise becomes pleasure. If you can learn to rejoice in that, you live happily ever after. The third is the pain of rejection. The fear of public speaking is one of the most dreaded fear in the world. It's only second to the fear of death, because most people are afraid of rejection. Even people miss the spouses they are supposed to end up with because they are afraid of rejection. People fear sales and marketing because they are afraid of rejection, because rejection is painful. If you can rejoice at the pain of rejection, then you live happily ever after. And what's the way to rejoice at that? If you reframe rejection into two frames, you will rejoice at them. Number one, when you reject me when I come to you initially, I laugh and I enjoy it, because I know that when you find out that I'm more valuable than you thought I am, when you subsequently know me, you will regret your rejecting me and you embrace me. Two, even if you don't get to meet me again and you hear from another person that the person you rejected is the best thing to happen to real estate in Africa, you will reframe and you will regret it. So when people reject me, it's like rejecting gold. I don't feel bad. I just smile and laugh. I say they don't know what they are rejecting. They're going to learn, like Very Dark Man will say, they will learn the hard way. So the fourth thing is, if you can learn to rejoice in your lack of reputation, the pain of being a nobody, the pain of having no reputation is painful, especially when you go to places and they say you're a nobody, you are nothing. It can be painful, but if you know you're on a journey and at the end of your journey is somebody that everybody will want to associate with, you smile and say, today you are calling me someone of no reputation, tomorrow you want to associate with me, and you can sing like Osofia, know me when I'm poor, not not when I am rich. You claim relationship. So those people that reject you for not having a reputation, when you actually succeed, your reputation will drag them to you. The fifth is the rejoice in the initial pain of saving and investing. The pain of saving and investing is when you see your friends actually using that same money you are investing in real estate, for instance, to buy cars, to take their family on vacation, to enjoy the immediate gratification of money. And you that has delayed your gratification, you are not enjoying those things. If you don't see the value at the end of your investment, you will complain. But the way you reframe and rejoice in it is that each time I invest, I rejoice in the ROI that will be coming and how that ROI will continually set me free. And that freedom coming makes me just shout, wow, I can't wait. So the sixth way you can also get rich from and live happily ever after is to rejoice in your initial charity pain. People are not stingy because stinginess is their intention. They are stingy because charity is painful. To give is more painful than to receive. Everybody loves to receive. So when you give and you know that is more blessed, and when you give, it will come back to you. Good measures, pressed down, shaking together and running over. It might not come today, it might not come in a year, it might come in 10 years time, but when you see how it will come back multiplied, you will rejoice. Because one person actually said that charity is one of the most selfish things you can do, because when you give, you're actually paying yourself multiples in future. So when you see that multiples, let's say you're giving $1,000 and you see the $1 million that will come back in future, you begin to rejoice in your giving. So remember, if you are chasing a life without pain, you are chasing the wrong joy. If you can just rejoice in planting as much as harvesting, you live happily ever after. And if you rejoice in your initial learning pain, you live happily ever after. If you rejoice in your initial exercise pain, you live happily ever after. If you rejoice in your initial rejection pain, you live happily ever after. And if you rejoice in your initial no reputation pain, you live happily ever after. If you rejoice in your initial saving and investment pain, you live happily ever after. And if you rejoice in your initial charity pain, you live happily ever after. And I'm telling you, because I'm the happiest man alive, I know how to celebrate in sowing and in reaping. I remember our quote for the day says, achievers rejoice at their achievements after their sacrifices, but exceptional achievers start rejoicing at their sacrifices way before seeing the achievements in their future. So tell me in the comments below, which of these do you find most painful, that you even hiss and hesitate when you give it away and you don't like celebrating? The one that used to break my heart so much that nearly killed me initially in real estate was number 4, the pain of no reputation. When I started real estate, everybody was asking, who is he? What have you built before? What estate have you done in before? And that's why I took that pleasure and started rejoicing in it and building a reputation that today I'm the biggest thing to happen to real estate in Africa and Nigeria. So tell me in the comments below, which of these pains and breaks your heart, that with this video you find a way to rejoice in it and live happily ever after. And one of the things that can also make you rejoice is in knowing. When you know your work and you are paid more for your work, you will rejoice. And one of the highest paying work is how to turn your pages to income. If you want to see how you can turn reading into money, click on the video above and I'll see you on the other side. It is super duper amazing that you found my content valuable enough for you to watch till the end. Only 5% of exceptional people do that. You're exceptional and I deeply love and appreciate you. Don't just watch to learn, watch to take action. And the first action is subscribe and hit the notification button so you don't miss any of our daily value action. Remember, only doers are winners.